today, let's see if the recording actually starts. Perfect, it started. So at any given time today, feel free to just jump in and ask a question. You know, I'll pause every now and then to see if anyone has questions about what it is that I'm doing here with the company and how it's growing. And I'll also go over a little bit of the direction of the company as well. So where I sort of see it getting to, but as the blender goes full speed, full steam in the background. But anyway, so a lot of people know Fitness 413 from when I started my gym back in 2011. And that was the name of the gym then, that lasted about 2.5 years out in the Milan area. But what most people didn't know was that that was also the name of the organization that I started before I even had the gym. So Fitness 413 LLC is the actual organization. And that encompasses a lot. There's the fitness aspect of that. There's the nutritional counseling aspect of that. And what I'm talking about today is the corporate wellness aspect of it, which is something that I did back when I had my gym. But I've been in corporate wellness for a while now. I probably started in 2004 when I worked in human resources and just, doing a lot of different wellness initiatives, running programs, developing programs, evaluating programs. For those of you who are familiar with the industry, you know how that works. So implementation, the running of the program, and then also the evaluation of the program to make it better moving forward. So, but that is something that I am sort of a reemergence in that field, in the corporate wellness field within this particular area in Ohio, since I've been back here from Florida. And I'll sort of pause there because one of my clients, she asked, well, is this something that are you only doing corporate wellness within Ohio? And I thought to myself, actually, no, because there are a lot of different things that we can do and offer that can reach all around the U.S. For example, one of the things that we offer is telephonic health coaching. And I want to touch on that a little bit later because that's also sort of the area I'm going to develop down the road, and look for people who want to operate in that field as well. So being that we're sort of in the reemergence, but also the infancy of corporate wellness within this area, there's so many possibilities. There's so many directions that we are going to take this, and just the possibilities for people to just come on board, especially now. I think it's amazing because you're getting in pretty much at the ground level of this reemergence. So as we grow, we grow together. We'll grow together, and then there'll be so many more opportunities moving forward. So where we're at now with Fitness 413 is, like I said, corporate wellness. That's our focus. And if you go to, I'm not sure how many have had a chance to go to the website, fitness413.net, and look at some of the different services we offer, but there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit. And the good thing about it is that unlike, let's say, a major medical, like an insurance company, let's say Anthem or someone, who when they are working with, an employer, they will give them just this big package. They're going to get the wellness package, and they're going to like it. Like, no matter what comes in it, you're going to take everything we throw at you in terms of wellness, and you're stuck with it. Whether you want it or not, you're paying for that. Well, with us and how we differ is that we're offering programs on an a la carte basis. So if someone wants, let's say, just lunch and learns. Let's say a company wants lunch and learns performed once a week or once every other week. That's all they want. Then that's all we we can offer them just that. If they want all of our services, they want everything, we can offer that as well. So a lot of what these positions entail is really sort of getting to know what the client wants, what will best suit them. That's more on the consultant aspect, the consultant position that's available, not necessarily the agent. So let's start there. So before I get into the specific positions that are available, do we have any questions so far on what I've said? Nope. Okay. All right. So let's start with the agent. So the agent position is, I joked with one of my friends the other day, and I said, it is, now this isn't sales. And I know a lot of people, when I posted, I sent them, 10% of the contract or 20% of the contract. Some people immediately got scared because they're like, oh man, I'm going to have to sell. And then it's like, I'm getting a percentage. So that's not a guaranteed money. It's not like part-time money or full-time money. I joke with my friend that it's the easiest sales position in the history of sales, the agent position. The agent position is nothing more than a scheduler. That's all they're responsible for. So for example, this is how we can open this up on a nationwide level, is because as a scheduler or as an agent, all you're responsible for is contacting a business and setting an appointment. That is it. The appointment is not with you. You don't have to run the appointment. You're not going to be closing the sale. You're not going to be finding out what is of interest to the client. You're not going to be putting together a package. You're not going to be, once the sale is closed and finalized, you're not going to run the program. You're not going to evaluate the program. You're not going to do any of that. All you're doing is setting that initial appointment with that company and the wellness specialist. And right now, the wellness specialist is myself. So say, for example, here's how this will work. Here's an example of how it will work. Let's say you send an email to a company in Northern Ohio. And now, mind you, I have scripts, so you don't even have to think about how to say it. So it's literally copy and paste. You're copying and pasting. You're taking the script I've already developed. You're forwarding that script via email to a company. That's it. You're pointing, you're clicking. And once they respond and say, yes, we're interested, you'll go to my calendar, which all of the agents and all of the consultants will have access to my Google Calendar. And you'll set a time. You'll pick a time and say, okay, this time, does that work? And you're done. Your job is done as an agent. So from that point, I pick it up. I go in, I meet with the company. I see what their needs are. I offer the services that make the most sense for that company. And I close the sale. The good thing about companies, when you're talking about companies and invoices, this is something else I was telling my friend the other day as well. There is a possibility that based upon how much you work this, that you can actually make a very sizable income. It just depends upon how many appointments you set each week. Because when you're dealing with companies and contracts, you're dealing in the thousands. The numbers are in the thousands, not in the hundreds. When you're dealing with individuals in fitness and wellness, the numbers are in the hundreds, but companies deal in the thousands. And so it was normal for me when I worked with Erie County to have invoices of $6,000. That was, and that would renew every so often. So let's take that number, for example, $6,000. Let's say you schedule an appointment. I close the sale. I do all that. I'm running the programs. I send them the invoice. The invoice is for $6,000. From just copying and pasting my script and sending it to that company, you just made $600. So that's how that 10% as an agent works. Now that's $600 from just one email that you send. You send multiple. You get multiple meetings set up throughout the week. You're in the thousands. You're making, so there's no real limit with how much money you can make as with any of these positions. So that's pretty much the agent position. Any questions about that? I don't know if everyone, I want to make sure I can hear you all. I think she's muted. Okay, so I'll keep going. Just want to make sure we have a good audio connection. So we're having some issues so far. But feel free after, like I said, I'm recording this. I'm going to post it. I'm going to send it to everyone. And if there is any questions afterwards, definitely feel free to ask me then. Okay. So let's move on to the consultant position. Now the consultant position is something that I will work with each person and sort of, I guess you say, interview them a little bit further for. And the reason why is because this one entails more than just the consultant is more than just the scheduler. The consultant is actually the person who is going to not only book that initial appointment, but after they book that appointment, they're going to go in and close the sale. Okay, so people with sales experience, this is something that the consultant position would sort of be geared more towards. But here's the thing. You don't even have to have, if you want the consultant position and you let me know like, hey, Tim, you know what? I was thinking about the agent, but I want to try the consultant position. That's something we'll talk about. And I'll provide all the training, all the things that you need to know in order to succeed at that position, because it's not hard. And all the people that I feel have responded to this call for hiring, I feel are passionate about fitness. And so when you're passionate about something, it's not hard to sell it. It's really not hard because you want to see people well, you want to see people healthy. All right. So the consultant, and welcome, Christy. I see that you joined us. So we've been having some technical difficulties this morning. So I want to make sure next time we have a video chat, I am in a different location, and I might even use a different service. I'm not sure, but Zoom has worked well for me, but it's just kind of like choppy and it's,
Uh-oh. They're having. Oh. I don't know if that's. I can't hear. Huh.
the initial step of moving from scheduling to actually going in, like I said, meeting with the business, and then closing the sale. And this is something, again, that I have scripts for, so that will help you. Also have scripts for overcoming objections, like the most common objections that businesses will give you. And here's the good thing: even if they already have a wellness program in place, let's say they have one through one of these insurance companies, like going back to the Anthem, right? Because Anthem has wellness coaches and they have wellness coordinators on site. Well, even if they have a wellness program, that doesn't necessarily mean that we should say, okay, well, never mind. I'm not going to offer my services, because a lot of times what you'll find is that the services we can offer, are going to be a lot more cost effective. But then, my experience and in my years of experience and certifications and education in the field will sort of put me above a lot of these entry-level wellness coordinators that Anthem and some of these other places will hire. So they'll hire people fresh out of college. They'll hire people with no experience. Whereas you can say, well, hey, look, we're coming from somebody who has over 13 years experience in corporate wellness versus these college kids who are they're still wet behind the ears. They're still learning, and they don't really understand how to operate in different types of, fields, whether it be manufacturing or retail. And I think we stopped there. Okay. Whether it be manufacturing or retail or just different fields. So that's one of another strength that you can say, that, yeah, this is something that we can offer. So, but the consultant is someone who will take home 20% of the contract. So let's go back to that example of, a $6,000 contract. And whereas the agent, let's say the agent set that meeting. If the agent set that meeting, then the agent would get they would get that $600 from just setting that one meeting. Okay. Well, if the consultant sets the meeting and then goes in and closes that sale, and they set it up, that $6,000. Well, the consultant just made $1,200 from just that one meeting. Now they haven't. If the consultant is not running any programs, like they're done once they close the sale and we send them that invoice, the consultant's job is done. They don't have to run the program. They don't have to evaluate the program. They do nothing else. They just move on and try to find the next client for the business. Okay, so that's really the consult. So any questions so far on the positions? Okay. Well, I think we lost Bonnie again. It's just I don't know what's but yeah, I'm gonna probably have a try to find. I think it cut me off again. Wow.
Yeah.
Zoom,
it's not good connection. It's not a good.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because it's usually a very good connection. Wow, this is. Let me see here. Let's see what we can do. Figure out how to. Okay. Okay, I think my video's back. Is it?
No.
Oh,
there you go. Yep.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Very cool. I hope people will be able to actually at least hear. I know the video might be a little choppy, but hey, there he is. But, yes, I hope the audio is at least somewhat clear so that people can hear that once they watch the recording. I know quite a few who are interested couldn't make it today, and we had over 10 people respond, that are interested in these positions. So that's pretty cool. And I already actually hired someone a couple of days ago for an agent position. So the goal, we'll have quite a few agents, and I'm thinking, especially for my friends that are around the nation, they'll most likely do the agent position because it's obviously easier to just schedule via phone or email as opposed to the face-to-face meetings that the consultant position requires. So, but that's really it. I mean, that's the overview of positions, the agent and then the consultant. And like I said, the agent is a scheduler. It is the easiest sales position because you're not really selling. You're copying and pasting a script. You're sending that to a company. Mm-hmm. You're opening my Google Calendar, picking a time, and you're done. And so I go in, I close the sale, and 10% of that contract, that person will receive. So the more contracts they set, obviously the more money they make. I joked with my friend. I said, you can work 1 hour a week. You can work 100 hours a week. Whatever you want to do, it's all up to you. You can work it however you want to. Let's say you don't like the phone. You never have to make a call if you don't want to make a call. If you just want to find email contacts for businesses, send emails, go ahead and do it that way. I actually just had a meeting with a local pastor, and I wrote him on Facebook. I wrote their Facebook church page, and we set up a meeting that way. And it's a client that I was able to go in and pretty much close the deal just off of Facebook. So, I never even had to pick up the phone. So there's so many different ways now, and especially with, LinkedIn and Twitter. And so, there's in this virtual age, it's almost like cold calling and knocking on doors is almost a thing of the past, but you can reach so many more people reaching out to them virtually, electronically. So yeah, and it's one of these things where, you know, the flexibility is there, especially moms that have written me and said, you know, I want to be able to do something from home. I want to be able to do something with the kids, you know, and with the possibility of making money, you know. Like I said, at this point, you know, both of these are commission based upon the contracts. But as the company grows, you know, I'm going to start looking at being on trainers, personal trainers, to actually go in and run some of these programs, because we're going to get to a point, and pretty quickly, where I'm not going to be able to go and hit all these businesses. So many people that are willing to step up and say, you know what, I want to be certified. I'm, you know, even people in the certification process, you know, I'd be fine after working with them for a little bit, sending them out and saying, you know what, you don't have to worry about the commission part. You're going to get an actual pay based on, you know, the classes that you run, a flat rate. So that we'll have opportunities for that. We'll have opportunities for, you know, wellness coaches and RNs and people to do case management. So there's the future of the company is very bright and very broad in that there's going to be a lot that we're going to offer in the corporate wellness area. So, yeah. So any questions?
I don't think. What businesses are you contacting then? Do you have a certain people that you're targeting? I might have missed that.
No, that's a great question. I didn't bring that up yet. So my idea for all of the agents and the consultants is to give them one of two things. Either one, a territory to work within. That way, you know, other agents aren't really stepping on your toes. I think sometimes that can actually kind of hurt the image of a business, and it can, you know, people don't like to be approached 100 times, you know, from the same company, different faces. Like, hey, somebody was just here, you know. So what I'm going to do is one of two things. You get a territory or an actual industry. So a specific industry, like let's say someone gets salons, you know, but it would be salons still within a certain territory. Let's say someone wants like automotive, right? Auto shops, or, you know, repair or collision, then they'll get automotive within a certain territory. Like personally, I'm targeting churches, but there's a church on every corner. So I'm going to need some help in targeting the churches. But not only because I'm really focused on churches in the Akron area. Well, I'm going through a list, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I think I'm still in the letter B, you know, and that's just Akron. So I'm like, well, I'm going to definitely need people in, you know, Canton and Medina and Cleveland and Cuyahoga Falls and all those areas. So, so great question. Great question. Okay. And that's something that once I, you know, bring a person on, because I'll bring each person on as an independent contractor, right? So you'll be 1099, responsible for paying your own taxes. And once we go through that sort of orientation process, that's where we'll discuss which sort of industry will be best for you. You know, and some people already have contacts within a certain industry, so it will make sense to just sort of keep them within where they're strong or where they already have connections. Good question. Anything else?
The personal trainers, when you get to that too, are you looking for just someone who has their certification, or I've been thinking about doing that too.
Yeah, and I would even be fine with someone who is in process, right? In the process of getting their certification. So who's willing to get it, let's say within the next 6 months, or who has their certification. I'd be fine with that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question as well. So let's see here. I think this thing is trying to kick me out. I don't know what's Zoom is like. This software is not my friend today. But I think I'm probably going to go with a different service next time we meet online. And I mean, with everyone working in different areas, we'll do a lot with online meetings, online trainings, because I'm huge in like just personal development and, you know, motivational speaking and, you know, all those types of things. So that'll be a huge part. That's a huge part of the company. And obviously faith as well. So, but yeah.
Good.
So. All right. If there is nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and bring it to a close, and I will send this meeting to everyone. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to post it, and I'm going to create a Facebook group specifically for like those interested in a position, and I'll put the video replay there, so that if there's something that I went over at the beginning, if you missed it, for those who missed the whole thing, then they can watch it back. All right. Well, I appreciate you everyone coming on today, and so you all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and God bless.
Thanks. You too, Tim.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.